Okay, let's do a update tour of Nika this morning. I want to just give her a good look over, see what I've done, and it'll help me get my mind set to make better progress moving forward today. It's good just to see her in the morning like this though. She's looking happy. She's looking appreciative of her new owner. I have her set out with 2 anchors off the bow at 180 degrees apart. That's the starboard side. I've already removed the teak decks, and now I'm in the process of sealing them with fiberglass and epoxy. Overall, she just looks cleaner. You can see that she's being cared for. The deck holes, the size, the handholds, the stainless steel, every part of her is being exercised and occupied and just being serviced and being loved. You can see the parts with the white on the hull, the oxidation. But then over here, where the dinghy rubs against her as I'm working, you can see that part's been polished. That's almost a finished product right there. So it just shows that just being around helps greatly. Here's the stern door ladder that I've sealed with epoxy and roughly sanded it, and that's kind of just a side project that I do when I don't have when I'm stalled on the other projects. Okay, here we are on the port side. Just looking around, I can see the teak wood I've cleaned many times with bleach and vinegar, soap. Along the tow rail, I've removed rope that he had as kind of a bumper. And now my plan is to fiberglass most of that wood and just leave the top part bare wood for a nice aesthetic, but fiberglass all this with resin and make it stronger and more waterproof. The teak is coming off of the walking deck surface. I'll keep it on the coach roof. Hopefully this is not too bad, but mostly this is more urgent to remove the walking areas of the deck. I removed the vertical electric windlass. I got to remove these controls here. I'm going to put in a manual. This is a double roller on this, which is beautiful and super useful. And the way that those are articulating is just a beautiful engineering feature where you have less friction on the line. I've emptied 15 cans or more of WD-40 and just lubricating all moving parts, cleaning anything plastic like this. I've coated and rubbed with WD-40 to just bring back a little moisture to it. Here's port side. I've removed the teak decks. Now I'm in the process of removing this glue, kind of like a rubbery glue that they use to adhere the teak deck. Here's an area where I just kind of patched together different types of epoxies that I found here in the Philippines, just to kind of feel out my materials and see how I'm going to continue on. I'm gonna stop using this pre-filled stuff and just start using fiberglass cloth here with just clean resin, liquidy resin, and then on top of that a few more layers of resin, and then sand, and then primer paint. Well, even before the fiberglass cloth, right now I'm taking off the glue, that rubber glue, and then I got to fill the holes. That's the first thing I'll do. I'll fill the holes with epoxy, thickened epoxy, and then anywhere there's a recess, I'll fill those areas and just patch it up so it's as level as possible before I apply the cloth and resin. Here's a joint that I discovered. There's an open joint here between the coach roof and the walking deck. And so I'm gonna put a little, well, I'm definitely epoxying it, but even a little bit of some fiberglass cloth in there too, because that's a joint that was only previously adhered or sealed with kind of a silicone adhesive. Every day I come, I open up all the hatches, let the boat breathe. And but I love just admiring Nika. She's a beautiful boat. I can't wait to see her in action. But I'm totally enjoying this process. I've already kind of cleaned as many lines as possible, but there's a lot more to go. And there's the radar. I bought a head unit for it, a display head unit off eBay that matches that Furono. It's a 1622 unit. So hopefully that'll work. I may have jumped the gun in purchasing it, but I just kind of got buy fever, and I bought the head unit just to have, and I paid 200 bucks for it. So if that works out, I'll have a radar for 200 bucks. This is a beautiful whisker pole, and it already has all the rigging in place where it's quick deployment. I can't wait to go up that mast also, and just with a bucket of soapy water and vinegar, let's go all the way to the top, 55 feet up, and just clean. All right, but she feels cleaner in general. I went through this Traveler, reinstalled it, new silicone. Everything's been oiled up and cleaned as well as possible with brushes and buckets of soapy water. Anywhere I could, I applied thick beads of silicone. This is really high quality, good silicone, and just to keep her as waterproof as possible. Big bead of silicone there, around the hatches. I don't even think twice about it. Anywhere there's a joint, I'm putting a nice thick bead of high quality silicone, the clear stuff, which I think even has a nice look to it even. I've gone through this right here with cans and cans of WD hammers and stainless steel brushes. Gone through that. Now this actually has action to it. Before it wouldn't even budge. So now I can actuate this. I have the accelerator cable that's working with that, but not the gear shifter. This is a single lever type of unit where it's supposed to actuate both the gearbox and the throttle together with one single action. I only have the throttle right now. The G is for gearbox and T is for throttle. But everything is loosened up. I went to great lengths to get this thing. All these cables loosened up. One cable's bad, I have to replace it. The other one seems okay, or I may have to replace it. But at least I can use this for a throttle, and then I can add another cable and lever for the gear, or maybe I'll figure out a way that maybe there's something wrong and I can still fix on that. Just one of the many projects. Here's my companionway entrance. I got all my WD-40s. I got my white lithium grease. This unit right here looks like it's gone. It's got water in there. I try to save it. I thought maybe I could save it, but there's water just in there like a fish bowl. Here are speaker boxes, which I'm going to try to salvage. They have some really cool high quality speakers from Norway. 8 ohm bass and 6 ohm tweeter speakers. I'll probably just replace the speakers, but reuse these boxes. Why not? They were put together with passion and excitement, and they look pretty good. They got some insulation in there, and it's all cut out, it's all ready to go. Or I might just rip it out. We'll see. Here's the V-berth that I use for storage of the teak wood and the stainless steel. Everything, in fact. This is where I put all the all the pieces that I may reuse. There's the chain locker, and I've already removed the windlass in there. I got all these doors I need to get new hinges for. My plan is to paint the flat parts white and then keep the trim wood. Not much done in the bathroom. I'm planning on getting rid of this tile, although it is cute, but I think it's too much. I'm going to bring it down to a more basic fiberglass, painted fiberglass, more utility look. But I did clean it up as much as possible, exercising all the through holes. There's some a network of heating and cooling that I plan to remove as well, and that'll open up space and reduce weight. The boat is now loaded with tools, and bought a whole bunch of sandpaper. Here's my electrical. Got my winches there. This is a toolbox that came with the boat, so I just put all the stuff that's been on the boat that I find I keep in that toolbox. I have a folding table. Here's my resin epoxy bag. I have these are my thickened epoxies. There's my West system that I actually brought over here from California. 3.5 years of transportation. And there's the West system containers. I'll reuse that with about 2 kilos of a local type of epoxy filler. So I removed the headliner on this section of the salon, where underneath the deck walking area, and it's nice and strong, so that's promising. This turns out to be a sandwich deck, so there's solid fiberglass here, then about 2 or 3 inches of some type of insulation, and then another solid fiberglass layer for the outside deck. So it's real sturdy, and it's insulated well. Here we're looking at the ceiling of Nika, which has like this kind of European style slats and canvas look, which it's a very kind of cozy feeling to it. It works better in cold climates, but I might just keep it, at least in the salon, because it's well done actually. Here's a little area that I gotta patch up, no big deal, but it actually looks good, and there is some nice pieces like over here that's really well done, and this is all good stuff. Whatever they used here was a very waterproof material, and there was a lot of work done, and it looks good. But I think I might even keep it over here in the Weber too, because it looks perfect. But what I think I'm going to change is over here, back in the what do they call this? The coffin room, coffin berth. Here, I think I'm going to strip it all down, because it's not worth all the material. It's not worth the energy, and it's nice just to rip everything off, get down to the fiberglass, and have it cleaner, even more easily to service and to find things. And yeah, so I think I'll just clean this up. Real utility look here. All fiberglass painted surfaces. Way back there at the very aft of the boat is a I guess it would be called an aft locker, lazarette slash, and that's where you have the autopilot, the quadrant, the water pressure pump, and things of that nature. Maybe propane tank is back there as well. And that's the part that's still pretty dirty. I never got in there real good to clean. And I have these cushions in the way now, which I should get out of the way. But I do plan on getting back there and cleaning up really well, and just gutting it, taking everything out, the autopilot, all that. Bench test the autopilot, go through it, put it back together, and then reinstall it. And then also I want to I want to paint all the surfaces back there where it's nice and clean and fresh in the cockpit locker and do a nice reinstallation. Here we're looking at the floors inside of Nika, and this is kind of a fun topic to think about how I'm going to redo this. This is really high quality plywood that they use, and then they have kind of a teak and holly finish layer to it, which is it's only a thin layer, veneer layer. And I'm wondering what's going to happen with that. I'm wondering, I think it would be nice to restore that teak and holly look. I don't know if it can be restored. I'll just try a section and see what happens if I lightly sand it, get it down to the wood, and then re-varnish it and see if I can get away with that. Otherwise, I'm going to have to, you know, I don't want to paint it white. Maybe I'll paint it a darker color. I think white doesn't look good on the floor. Maybe like a dark gray, or even a faux wood or something of that nature. So I still haven't thought about what I'm going to do here with the floor. I hope it comes out nice though. I think it does have promise. Okay, here we're looking at the cabinetry. Well, I shouldn't say none. Almost none of the doors are working because they have frozen hinges. And these actually survived, thank God. But most haven't. Like just all those doors, all those drawers, they use these hinges from like a department store. They're all frozen shut. All the hinges. So cabinetry solutions is something that I've been musing through in my head these days. And this has that kind of, that, once again, that North European look to it. Kind of a sturdy, cozy look to it with heavy wood, etc. But I've been looking at other solutions. In particular, I've been looking at solutions off of catamarans and trimarans. And I like what they do on those lighter boats. They keep these the cabinetry spaces, like this is real thick plywood. So on a catamaran, usually what you see is a real thin piece of plywood, maybe just with an oval hole here, and you just put things in there, you throw them in there, and they just land wherever, and you just give it kind of just more generalized storage space, which is lighter, easier to do. And it still looks pretty good too. So, or I can just buy new hinges and replace. Well, that wouldn't. I can buy new hinges, but these drawers are going to be more complicated than just hinges. I have to. Just getting it out is going to be difficult. Getting these drawers out, but then I'm just going to have an empty space. And what do I do at that point? Do I put another set of drawers? Here you got a lot of drawers in the kitchen. So thinking on solutions there. Here's the engine bay. And my plan here is I already went through the propeller shaft and the seal there. And I have to buy a new seal. There's a dripless seal in there. But I just put clamps on it for the interim. And so that's the solution there. But that was a lot of work to get that. There was a shaft coupling on there that was... I had to really work hard on getting that off. It's totally frozen by corrosion. Here's the engine bay. It's going to be exciting to put the new engine in here, the Yanmar. Set it down, kind of set it in place using shims and hoists. And then finding a rough measurement for the new engine mounts. And then welding a custom steel engine mounts in place for that, to keep it at the perfect angle. That's going to be a fun process to do because it's important on any boat, and I'll learn a lot doing my own here, and that's something that I can use in the future on other boats that I work on. So also over here, of course, I want to clean all this up real good. Anything unnecessary, get rid of. Here's an area where water is collecting. I want to get in there and eliminate any rotted fiberglass and then paint it all up. And hopefully this is all looking real good and it's fiberglass and waterproofed real well before the engine comes in. This is a marine style clock, and it's corroded way beyond functional use. But I love this housing. I think I'm gonna do something artistic there to repurpose it. Okay, so that concludes my Nika project update today, and it feels good just to run through the ideas to kind of it helps me prioritize and spend my energy wisely. So and also it'll be nice to look back on it and to see how the next step plays itself out. Cheers.